Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Key to the Streets. I'm telling y'all, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going and keep going until I get to episode 50. And we're gonna do some other shit. Okay. If these videos have brought y'all any value, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into it. We just did a deal with no money out of our pocket. We never bought a house. We never paid for the lead. We never paid for renovations. We didn't do any of that. We literally did this deal with no money out of our pocket, and we're set to close for tomorrow. Knock on wood. You know how these closings go, but we're supposed to close on this deal tomorrow. So this deal was actually a novation agreement, right? And here's how I'm going to explain how we did this deal pretty much with no money out of our pocket. So to start, this deal actually came from a wholesaler. A wholesaler said, hey, this guy Ralph is my seller and he's going through foreclosure. Can we help this guy out? So let's get on the screen really quick. So it's 230 Grafton Street, Brockton, Mass. Now, wholesaler brings us the deal. Okay. Wholesaler, well, didn't bring us a deal. He brought us a lead. He said, Mike, I don't know what to do with this guy. This guy is going through a foreclosure. He's about to get foreclosed on in literally like 10 days. I don't know what the heck to do. I'm like, okay, get me on the phone with this guy. I get on the phone with him, realize that we're able to stop his foreclosure. And the price that he wanted was just a little bit too much for us to make a cash deal work. So I was like, hey, are you okay with us stopping the foreclosure, extending it for like 90 days? And in that time frame, getting the property up to speed for us to sell it to a retail buyer. And he's like, sure. So essentially we did a fix and flip on this property without ever having to buy it, right? So you can call it purchase price. This is the price to the seller, is $275K. So I tell Ralph is our seller. I said, hey, Ralph, you know, this $275K that you need in order to move to Arizona is just way too much for a cash deal. You know, we would have to be probably around like 240 on a cash offer, right? And obviously that does not work for you because you need some cash to go to Arizona. But you don't need to go to Arizona right now. You actually can't go to Arizona right now. You have to wait 3 months because of some things that were going on in his life. So I'm like, hey, is it cool if you are okay with just waiting for the 275, but get it in 3 months? We'll make sure that the foreclosure does not happen. You can stay in your property. We're just going to put a little love into the property and then get you the 275. He's like, yeah, sure. As long as I get my 275, I don't give a shit what you do. So I'm like, okay, great. So we get him under contract at $275,000 under what we call a novation agreement. So we get him under contract under a novation agreement that essentially allows us to have control of the property. We end up having some painters going there, having some cleaning companies go there, clean out companies, and all this type of stuff. So after we got it under contract at 275, we immediately got some people to go in there and clean this place up. So we put some rehab into it. Rehab ended up being about 10K, 8K after pretty much everything. That's paint, drywall, clean out, some other little things we had to take care of. Cost us about $8,000. Where did we get this $8,000 from? We got this from a private money lender. So somebody in our network wants to make a return on their investment. So they say, hey, Mike, I have this $8,000 just hanging out. I would love to put this $8,000 to work. I'm like, sure, I have a deal actually. Why don't you give us the money? We'll put it into one of our deals and we'll get you a return on this $8,000. So we got him a return on this $8,000 that he'll get once we close, which is cool. AKA we did this deal with no money out of our pocket. So we put the rehab into it at about 8K. Like I said, we did some cleaning. We did a clean out. We had a dumpster go there. We did a bunch of drywall repair. We did some painting, all that little knick-knack stuff just to get it up to speed so that an FHA buyer can come in. What is an FHA buyer? A first-time home buyer could come in after we listed the property and he could get approved for a loan. So essentially we did this rehab, right? And then we list the property. We list it with an agent. An agent. For this property, we listed it at $350K. What ended up happening is literally this thing sold actually pretty quick. We had like probably 4 offers within the first week, but the strongest offer that we had was at 335. So 335 was the strongest offer that we had. So we took it. We're like, screw it. Let's sell this property at 335. We'll make some money on it. So what happens is at close, the seller obviously gets paid his money. The mortgage gets paid off, everything gets paid off, and we also get paid off. So we get put on what we call the HUD statement to be paid out in this particular deal, $40,000. So it says that, we are to be paid out on the HUD statement $40,000. So tomorrow when we close on the property, the attorney is going to close on it and it's going to say on the HUD statement, $40,000 is to be paid out to me in my company. So we're going to get that $40,000 in the form of a check once we close. Now, obviously we have some expenses and we had to, we split this deal with a wholesaler. So the wholesaler is on it. But at the end of the day, we literally, as you can see, we literally did this deal with no money out of our pocket. So we didn't spend money to generate the lead. That lead came from us from another wholesaler. Actually, funny story is this lead was actually in our system. We were door knocking for probably like 2 weeks until we realized that it was kind of hurting our KPIs. I had my acquisition manager out door knocking when he should have been calling, right? But while he was out door knocking, he actually knocked on this guy's door. And essentially what happened is we never put it in the system. Because we didn't have a full-fledged door knocking system going. He knocked on the door, sent the lead over, and it never got officially submitted to the system. So it never went through our system. And then like 2 or 3 weeks later, this wholesaler calls me and says, hey, bro, I have this lead. Can you help me out? And that's when we ended up doing the deal. But essentially for this lead, if you look at it, we did not pay for the lead. Right now, when we get a property under contract from our acquisitions team and our cold calling team, we're paying for that. Every single lead costs us money because we're dumping money into our marketing, right? So this lead was free. Lead was free. We got the rehab from a private money lender that wanted to make a return on their investment, right? We did that. And we did this deal with no money out of our pocket. And in about 3 months, boom, we're going to make $40,000. Pretty freaking cool. I am actually going to do a deal breakdown, like a live video of me walking the property later on this week. I'll probably drop that in a week or 2, which would be pretty cool. If these videos are bringing y'all any value, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate y'all. More deals like this to come. Let's go.